I had always played among the stones, greeting them like friends. Friends I hadn't seen in a year, but this year was different. We came, gypsies, every autumn to bury our dead. Those that had died early in the year had been kept for this, the autumn burials, in Oconee. But this year was different. This year I heard the tinkling bells and the creaking wheels of the gypsy caravan, leaving me behind. I wanted to run after them, but something was holding me. The soil. It was warm and caressed me like a blanket. But I wanted to play. I wanted to run among my friends, the stones. I wanted to be free. But the earth held me close, and I cried. Not I. Not to die. Not I. Not to die. My heart leaped with eagerness to move, and I found myself moving ever so lightly through the grass. The earth called to me and said I couldn't leave, and I promised I would return. Something within me would not rest. I looked and looked for something I had never known. A home and a form I could call my own. And a form I could call my own.
I am Jack Thomas. I live in a 70-year-old house in Athens, Georgia, on Boulevard. I have a wife, Hazel Thomas, and a son, John Eugene. My wife and I married 33 years ago, and we started collecting antiques at that time. Because we started early, we learned to appreciate the more beautiful things, and that's why we picked up this bust.
Somehow he knew. He placed me on the piano. Music is so much a part of gypsy life. I liked this lovely home. If only they would let me stay.
We have several different busts in our home, but the thing that makes this one outstanding is the fact that she has a ghost. About a week after the bust in my house, I turned around one night and looked at the dining room door from where I was sitting in the kitchen, and there was this young lady standing in the door of the dining room. Well, she stood there for an instant, and then she went away. The next day, when I came home from work, the sun shining bright, she was standing on the side porch. When I got to the side of the house, she disappeared. Well, the next day the same, and the next day the same, for the whole summer long. Every day when I quit work, I could drive in and out of the yard all day long, getting materials for my job, and she would never show up until I quit work, and then she would show up.
He has such a friendly face. I hope he lets me stay. A gypsy's life is one long road, and home is a word so warm. I went back to Oconee and talked to my friends. The furrowed earth beckoned to me, but I said, I've found a place. I don't want to be with the dead. And the grass whispered, but do they want you to stay? I don't know. But they don't say go away. The stones imparted their silent strength and their wisdom of many ages. If they'll have you, if they'll ask you to stay, for sure you found your place. Do good, be kind, but all the while, never show your face. Never show your face.
That fall, when it got cool weather, she moved into the house, and I have never seen her on the porch again. She is a very friendly ghost and never bothers anything or anybody. It's just startling sometimes to turn and see her standing there. One Sunday afternoon, I was sitting across the hall in the den, and the dog was over there in the den with me, and the young lady showed up in the middle of the living room, just standing there. The dog saw her and ran out of barking. And when the dog got up within 2 feet of her, she just disappeared. I carried the bus down to a museum I opened up, and she didn't like it down there. She appeared like she was about to cry, and other people remarked that she was about to cry down there. I said, yes, she does look like that. So I brought her back home and put her back on the piano where she sits all the time. And since that time, she's had about a half smile on her face. And she sits in her position on the piano and just surveys the dining room, moving her eyes back and forth across the room. She's been sitting there now for about 4 years without being moved. And I think as long as I'm alive, she'll stay right there. Because she is nice. She looks nice there. She is nice there. She never bothers anybody. She's very quiet. She doesn't make any noise.
Sometimes I move up and down the stairs. I follow the people in the house. I want them to like me. I want to be a part of their life. I want to be a part of their life. Home is a word so warm.
I have seen her in 3 different colored dresses, blue, gray, and black. My sister passed here one day and saw her on the front porch in a white dress. She has always worn the shawl over her head and has never allowed anyone to see her face, either in the daytime or at night. When I see her, she is always has her head turned to the side or down in a manner so that her face does not show.
The house was so lovely. Sometimes I just moved around, touching the furniture, And I only did it once in a while, so I wouldn't disturb anyone. Most of the time, I sat on the piano and watched the people come and go.
She seems to be happiest in the dining room, since I've seen her there more than any other place. But evidently she likes to watch me work too, because she does come around sometimes when I'm doing different things and shows up watching me while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. She never scares me, but she does startle me sometimes. One night I was sitting in the kitchen doing a watercolor, and I just turned around and she was standing right behind me watching me paint.
Sometimes I got lonely for something to do. But then I would think of my friends at Oconee and the loneliness they knew.
She's very happy. She appears to be happy here all the time, since she's never appeared to be upset about anything. She never bothers anything. And she's always nonchalantly walking about the house or just standing looking at something. But why she's hiding her face, I don't know, but she never has shown it to anyone. So, maybe she just doesn't want to look at people or something, but she does.
I wondered what the people in the house thought about me. They would look at the bust and talk to it. But when I moved around the house, sometimes they'd look surprised.
I didn't believe in ghosts. But since bringing the bust to my house, it has opened my eyes and my mind to a lot of things, because I have learned that the ghost does exist. I feel that she's a restless spirit that's possibly between two worlds. Now, what her reason for being here is, I don't know. But we wondered lots of times, and we've surmised various things and talked about various reasons for being here. And one of the reasons we think it is possible that she may be the restless spirit of one of the gypsies who was brought here and interred here in the Oconee Hills Cemetery. So what she is or who she is, we don't know, because she has never spoken. She's never uttered one sound that we know of. We can't prove, nor do we know, that the bust is from the gypsies. But we do know that it came down from one of Athens' oldest families who dealt with the gypsies. The first Finnesses in Athens sold carriages and wagons. And the gypsies came here every year in September to bury their dead in Oconee Hills Cemetery. And Mr. Finnessy sold them lots of wagons and lots of carriages, and the horse traders here sold them horses. That is the reason we believe this bust to be gypsy, because of his dealings with them. They came here every year, and they would go through the neighborhoods telling fortunes and doing the other part of the business that they did, whatever it was, trading horses, trading wagons, and so forth and so on. This bust has all the appearances of some of the gypsy women of that time. I remember seeing them when I was a child, and some wore shawls around their heads, and some wore bandanas. The gypsy men wore black hats for the most part, and some of them even wore bandanas around their heads. They had very colorful wagons, and they always wore the most beautiful clothing because they were bright colors. The gypsy men mostly wore gold earrings, and the women wore pendant-type earrings. They all wore skirts down to their ankles, the females did rather, and the men wore black or colorful trousers of different types. Some were blousy and some were not. The gypsies came here every year in September to bury their dead, and the dead was shipped in here to Bernstein's funeral home and kept. Even though he might have died in October, his body still came in to Athens and was held till the next September, when the clan would gather to bury their dead in Oconee Hills Cemetery. But I still believe the bust is gypsy, and I believe the family got it from the gypsies. And I believe that the restless spirit that lives here with us now travels with this bust, wherever the bust goes. The young lady seems to really love it here.
The warmth of old wood polished to a shine. I touch it, and it's home. Fancy draperies and cushioned couches. And carpeting, even on the stairs. I love this home. I move through its halls. I swing in the swing. And walk in the gardens. And wish they'd tell me they want me to stay. If they don't tell me soon, I'll have to go back.
Ghosts, which is a name that's been given to what scientists choose to call restless spirits, do exist in this world today, I believe, now. But I didn't believe before. It has made a believer out of me. I sincerely believe that they exist, but I didn't before I brought this bust into the house. I never believed in them up until that time. And up until Cookie the dog saw her, I didn't believe it then. But now I do. And I don't laugh at people who see them anymore. But after much thought, I just decided that people were naive to believe that we're the only creatures in God's creation. So I just decided to keep an open mind on everything and say, well, maybe it could be so. But this spirit that lives here is very nice. I've said that before, and I say it again.
If they'll have you, if they'll ask you to stay.
I'm very happy to have her as a member of the family, and I hope she stays a long time.
For sure, you found your place.
I really want her to stay around.
Never show your face.
The Bible says in Revelations that before the end of time, the dead will walk the earth. They will be seen in many places. And for that reason, I don't doubt a bit.
Not to die.